Padres fans, we got an injury update to get to you, and it is good, if not great. It's fantastic news. Let's say that. Let's break it all down. Let's talk about Xander Bogaerts on this episode of Padres Digest. Thank you very much for tuning back in. I'm Christian Pedersen, one of your two random YouTube hosts, whining and opining about all things Friars. If you want to drop a comment, much appreciated. If you want to hit the subscribe button, you'd be my new favorite person, but never going to pressure you to do it. I love you whether you subscribe or not. I love you if you hate watch. I love you if you love watch. I love talking baseball with all of you guys, and I want to talk about Xander Bogaerts. Now, I want to talk about Xander Bogaerts. I'm watching all the games, and I am not going to say that Xander coming back fixes everything, but this is good news right here. This from Jeff Sanders of the San Diego Tribune, so someone that is infinitely more of a baseball pro and dialed in than me. And he says Xander to be cleared for baseball activity, beginning his progression. Xander's out for the season with a broken foot that he suffered fouling a ball off of it, but he is not out for the postseason. That was the initial reaction from the Padres a few weeks ago when this all broke, and pun not intended there. But they said, hey, look, he's out for now, but this is 4 weeks, and we'll rehab him, and we'll get him back. And the Padres kind of collectively said, okay, we're going to try our best not to make the playoffs in those 4 weeks. And that joking aside, the Xander getting activity cleared for progression and coming back is really, I maybe saying it's a good thing is undervalued. It's a great thing. Any Xander getting back is good. I would be curious. This is not last night's lineup, but this is the lineup most recently that had Iglesias in it at short. How happy are you with this? Does replacing the name Iglesias with the last name Bogaerts there turn you into a immediate fan of, this team is, we are set, we are rolling, we are good to go? I'm like, if Xander can come back and be good enough to produce, because he's had some highs and some lows, and so the numbers that you see here, this is kind of in the middle of where Xander's been all season. So if he can do this, if Xander can be a 265 hitter throughout the playoffs and be 80% of himself defensively, I take that and I roll with that, and I go, hell yeah, I want that. I enjoy that. I want to see that more often. I like it enough to be confident in the playoffs, but if the season ended today, this is where we'd be at. We'd be on the way to Chicago to play a road series in the wild card round, and it seems like this is pretty fixed unless the Padres break stride with what they're doing right now and flip the switch and just crush it the rest of the season. Seems most likely we will either get the Mets or the Cubs as our first round opponent, and it's a series that if we're talking about that, you can break down a bunch of different aspects of it. And I'm not going to say that it boils down entirely to whether or not this is back in the lineup, but it certainly to me helps and boosts my confidence to know that just having Xander there. And that might be kind of crazy given that we've seen, like I said, we've seen some highs, but we've also seen some intense lows from Xander. So to say that having Xander just in the lineup makes me playoff level confident is a weird setting, but it does seem for the duration of the month of August, when we had our new guys dialed in, like Lariano and O'Hearn and all that, and figured out where they fit, and we had Xander hitting the way he did, that the Padres were at the best that they have been at this season. So, again, I don't want to be hyperbolic and say that Xander is the key that unlocks all of this, but if there is an element to baseball that is something beyond the analytics, and if you want to call it feel, vibes, whatever it is, the look test, the sniff test, the smell test, that you can sometimes just you can take the numbers and analyze the heck out of them a million different ways, but also sometimes you can just look at a team and be like, That's them at their best. That's the better version of them. That's that's the winning version. That's the playoff version. That's the World Series version. And I think we are a step closer to passing that sniff test or smell test or sight test or whatever it is as a team with Xander Bogaerts back, whether that's back in the lineup full time or back for, game on, game off, back for he's in there for the first, 6 innings so that a defensive Iglesias can come in. Padres right now, they're still in it even in the West, so maybe there is room for change of all this, and we can have some home field, and we can give Xander a couple more days in the playoffs. But assuming that this stays where it's at, and then we head into the playoffs, like I said, on the road, playing against Chicago. Granted, we are still a few weeks away from that, but the Xander thing, if I'm already kind of circling that and starting to put my emotional eggs in the basket of, all right, we made it after that chaotic-ass season. Here we are. We're finally in the playoffs. I consider it to be, like I said, good, if not great news that Xander is back. Now, back with, like we said, there can be varying degrees of availability and capability, and I would be curious what you guys think is the amount of Xander that counts as him being back for him to validate being back. Like if he bringing him back to play in that first game only to then have him, rounding first base and his foot, it hurts again and he has to come out, and then we end up down a guy and we have to make some Iglesias go back here. We thought we had I can see where there is a setback to putting your eggs in the basket of being like, oh, Xander's coming back, and so he's going to be back and stay back and sustain back. But we're kind of also doing that with Michael King of he had that arm injury, he had the knee injury, but he comes back. So we're counting on him to come back and stay back. So I guess if I'm kind of glass half full, rose-colored glasses, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing nothing but good news coming from Xander coming back. Now, we will keep you guys updated on all of the progressions because this is going to be it's going to be a very closely watched and truncated 3 weeks of recovery for Xander as he closes out the season. And so there will be plenty of opportunities for you guys to get those juicy little morsels of, oh, he's taking batting practice, oh, he's doing this, oh, he's doing that. So we will have all of that for you as we go on. So make sure, like I said at the beginning, if you hit the subscribe button, it would be fantastically appreciated. Drop a comment, though. Let me know. What are we doing here with Xander? Are we getting pumped that Xander's coming back? Are we treating it as if he does, it's great, it's icing on the cake? Where are you somewhere in the middle on all of that? Let me know. Let me know anything else you want to see a video on. And until next time, we'll talk to you guys soon.